on Captain Kazoo's review on YouTube. And that's what's happening today. We're reviewing some handmade, homemade kazoos. What can I tell you? Okay? Now, let me show you something right here. Hang on. I don't have a lot of room. I've created this little space here where I can... This is a cigar box guitar / ukulele, double neck, that's made out of a cigar box, right? That cigar box is the body. And that, as you can see, is a punch cigar box. And I'm sure you cigar smokers all know what punch cigars are, right? Very flavorful, very wonderful. Oh, this is not in tune. Well, we'll have to tune it. Had I been prepared, which of course you know I'm never prepared. But this is a cigar box, a guitar, ukulele. I'm going to put this guy right over here. Maybe it'll tune itself, so the next time we pick it up, it'll be in tune, and maybe not. Who knows? Oh, it doesn't want to stay there. It wants to fall down. Okay. I don't know. Is this starting out okay? Is this going to be publishable? I don't know. Anyway, today I thought what we would focus on and celebrate is the fact what's the word I'm looking for? An unheralded group of very clever people make their own kazoos. In fact, that started many, many years ago. I've got quite a display back here on my table of what I will call homemade attempts at making kazoos. And the first one to show you is what I'm calling the prehistoric Stone Age attempt at making a kazoo. Now you can see that Alabama Vest may have gotten his idea from this kazoo, which is not a kazoo at all, but it's a piece of stone and has a kazoo turret on it. But of course it doesn't play anything. But somewhere in history, I got a frog in my throat this morning. Somewhere in history, somebody tried to make a kazoo, a Stone Age kazoo. Maybe they were in the Stone Age, and maybe it was last week. I don't know. But this is it. This is their effort. It looks like a kazoo. It's kind of too heavy to be a kazoo, but it'd be good for conking somebody in the head with it. That is the Stone Age. That's how far back kazoos go. Back to the Stone Age. And this is a Stone Age kazoo attempt. Okay? We have many other items here on the table, and we're going to go through them one at a time. I would hope culminating in the most spectacular kazoo that you have ever seen. Anyway, we've got a guy here. I'm reaching over here to get this guy. This is a homemade kazoo, right? Pretty good. I don't know whether he used or he or she used a kazoo. This seems, some of these parts seem, doesn't have any membrane in it, of course. And as we have mentioned before, here at Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum, we don't try to fix things. We don't try to restore them. We take them as we get them, and we display them just exactly the way they came to us. And this guy right here, that's let's see, how long is this guy? Let me get my thing here before I knock everything over, which happens very easily around here. This guy is 4 foot long, 12 inches long, okay? Pretty good, and sounds pretty good when you hear it, but it needs a membrane. I've have attempted at times to place the membrane at least, but that didn't work because this thing is locked in here. either rusted or whatever else happens to metal. It's not coming loose. But that's a pretty interesting kazoo. That's a very simple design. Probably, certainly not as, let me get this guy here, let me get this guy here. Not as complicated. Oh, look out, everything's falling over. This is kind of haphazard. How do you like this guy? Now, this one does work. Look at that. Machine made. This is machine made. If you unscrew, I'm going to unscrew this guy right here and show you that this is not crimped or bent or in any way it's not put together with glue. Oh, there goes that on the foot. This has got a machine. See, that's machine made. Okay, see that? That whole bottom there. Look at that guy. Is that beautiful? That's beautiful. And this part here, which as you can see, is also, interestingly enough, is machine made. See that? It's just unbelievable. It's a beautiful piece of work. And as far as we know, now we've had this kazoo on display in Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum for the last several years. And during that time, of course, we have received literally thousands of emails and etc. and kazoos from people around the world. We've only heard from one other person who had a kazoo like this. So I don't know whether they were manufactured for sale by somebody. But of course, as you can imagine, there's not one marking on this kazoo, or on this, whatever you want to call it, that tells us anything about the maker or whose idea this was or whatever, or how it was made. That's probably the most unusual, one of the most unusual kazoos in the world. Excuse me. I got all kinds of stuff. I'm getting old. Hey, okay. Now that's a good idea. That's a good idea for a kazoo right there. But of course, what can I tell you? There's always somebody else who's going to upstage that guy, and that would be this guy. And this is the what I call the Could that be the kazoo song? Kazoo song. That's my kazoo. Woo, wow. This is unbelievable. This has, as you can see, it's got a machine gun or an assault rifle grip on it here. So you can aim it. It's got some valves, but of course the valves are not valves at all. They're just decorative. I don't even know what to call this. Is this beautiful or what? And this guy is, what happened to my yardstick? This guy is in fact 22 inches long. 22 inches long. It's got double horns on it. It's got valves on it. And then, of course, which work. Of course, the double horns work pretty good. of course, you can see that this inventor or this engineer or this constructor used a real plastic kazoo as a trigger. And it just stuck the plastic kazoo with a little colored, little painted tape around the edge. That works just fine. So this does qualify it as a homemade kazoo, right? Yeah. Okay. Now moving on. Moving on. Ow, 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 ow. Put this guy back over here. And let's see. We've got. Oh, here's a little interesting guy here. This is very interesting. This is very similar to the bigger one that we saw a couple of minutes ago. See this guy here? And this guy is, hey, the darn ruler keeps sliding on the floor. And this guy is, looks like 8 inches. That's 8 inches there. Okay. Okay. I still don't have a kazoo song. No melodies are coming to my mind. So we'll put this one aside and say this is probably one of the nicer that we have several homemade kazoos on Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Review. Take a look at them because a lot of times I get pictures of kazoos that people say they have made, but I don't ever get the actual kazoo. But this is the actual kazoo. This was made by somebody out there. All kazoo makers are going to be anonymous today because we don't want to play any favorites. Okay? So these are unusual kazoos, handmade and shown only on Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum website, and today on National Kazoo Day, the National Kazoo Day on YouTube. Okay? Now, I've got one here. I got to show you this. Because you heard that expression, everything but the kitchen sink. And this guy took that literally, and this is what I'm going to call a baking pan, a cupcake pan kazoo. Okay? It's got a kazoo. Here's the kazoo part right here. Here's the kazoo part right there. See that kazoo is a cupcake pan, and on the end here is a flour sifter. This actually works. See, it's a sifter, right? Sifter sister. And on top are some, what I think are cookie cutters. And then you have the kazoo. Not a bad tune. I can't imagine how old this is, but it's working just fine. This is your cupcake pan kazoo. Yeah, you've never seen anything. The only place you're going to see stuff like this is at Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum.